is actually going to be in the banner, in the next banner. So that'll be interesting. But yesterday I posted a gaming in the rain video where I basically just did some Genshin chores, but the rain had kept up. So what I had intended to be a short, like 30-minute video ended up being 2 hours. And I explored the frozen mountain in Mondstadt a decent amount. So yeah, I've gotten a little bit into that. So if you are curious what happened with that, you could watch that video, but it wasn't really anything amazing. I didn't do any quests, I don't think. But we are going to continue with this quest.
Surely not more spurious claims.
Spurious claims. What a word.
No one can ever win. I swear on all that is sacred.
I'm pretty sure I've actually won his jade betting thing.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnaya merchant named
I thought it was Sneznaya, not Sneznaya.
recently by any chance?
Sneznaya. Sneznaya. I just say Sneznaya.
A Snezhnayan
Merchant named Crossel.
I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them.
That does not seem like a good business practice to have.
He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Okay. I thought he was trying to sell it to him.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my
That's
first
pretty.
time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later.
A few loose shavings. A few loose shavings. It looks like he took the entire thing with him.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Over here. Observe. Yep.
If my eyes don't deceive,
It sure looks like a rock.
sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings.
Smaragdus nephrite, you say?
Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
Oh, interesting. So they are linked.
Thin layer of separation, huh? If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy.
We
Smaragdus
finally
nephrite
get to
is
use
simply
our
ordinary
elemental
ore,
sight.
containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Oh, interesting.
So, well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot.
Yes, we might as well. Oh, I didn't even get to do it myself. There is not a trace of elemental energy.
Are different. But wait, how come Jichao is able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time.
Why couldn't Shito tell them apart?
These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference with a casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price.
Astronomical difference.
And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
Alright, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent. have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Let us. Oh, man. They aren't letting me do anything. Oh, we have to report back to Shito.
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire?
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here, it says quite clearly, one chunk Smaragdus jadeite, uncut.
Yes.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and the stone shavings?
It is good to ask permission.
But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Yes. Please sign here on this affidavit.
That seems questionable.
This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone
Okay,
shavings
okay.
originated from the,
I thought she was just asking him to sign something without reading it.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei. But might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident. Just
No
a minor issue.
incident.
Thank you, sir.
I
I'll take
think
this with me.
incident is a minor issue, otherwise you would say accident.
This hard evidence to back us up.
I still very much do not like her. She does have cool horns though.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling.
Oh boy, of
Want
course.
to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think.
Where did that book come from?
Jewelry? Nope.
Why are her eyes opened so widely?
Aha! Got it! Singsi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go
Oh,
pay her
I
a
wish I had
visit.
heard how she said that. I think it was Singsi.
Well, that was
But I thought it would be
How can there
Xingxi.
be so many people?
But X made a sh sound in Chinese.
As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish.
That sounds not fun.
As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
Oh man. That sounds like, oh, what do you call them? It sounds like people that help you do your taxes in America. Completely unnecessary, but they've built a market for themselves.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish? Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the
Yeah,
legal
that's
codes.
probably a good reason for her to be an adepti.
You memorized them?
I imagine adepti have very
Sound surprised.
different
Knowing the
laws
law
of
inside
nature
out
that they have to follow
makes
than
it
normal
better, you know?
humans. Is this how adepti become so adept at everything?
Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Oh, that's a total lie.
Again with that casual tone. Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singsi.
She did, she said Singsi. I still don't think that's right. But, where are we? Okay, about 100 meters this way. Unfortunately, I expect that this episode is going to be a lot of dialogue.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Something happened. The client from last time.
Click.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions.
Snezhnaya, no?
She also said
He came to me with a
Snezhnaya.
chunk of something he called
That
Smaragdus
sounds
jadeite.
so backwards, though. It should be Sneznaya. Snezhnaya. Snezhnaya, Sneznaya. I've confused myself now.
The design of the hairpins that he gave me was
The
quite
design
intricate.
of the hairpins was quite intricate.
Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
I mean, she kind of just told us that she found a jewelry smith.
Sinksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus jadeite?
Yes,
I do not enjoy this quest line.
were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself. The item is called
Twin
Smaragdus jadeite.
Phoenix pins. That
In
sounds
the
very
Genshin, it's recorded as
interesting.
Smaragdus jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the Ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again. Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
Must be the nature of legal consultancy.
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
Dr. Baizu.
Weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for? Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus jadeite is harmful to the human body.
Why only him?
Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
I really hope that she's not lying again. I hope that this is the final. Oh. I just realized that this is a. Oh, God dang it, what's the word? This is a fetch quest disguised as just a normal quest. Just like a story-driven, a simple story-driven quest. It is weird seeing him in here because he's typically not, I don't think.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out.
Is that Dendro? That's not Animo, he's a Dendro person.
And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well. Now that's an
Oh,
even
that's
rarer
interesting.
What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus jadeite.
Smaragdus jadeite.
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 mountain treatises.
7 mountain treatises.
The 7 mountain treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it.
Oh,
It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a
right.
period,
I forgot about
this
that.
scenario, they fall ill.
That was established very early in this quest line.
Illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. No, Yenfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I
I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus jadeite?
Yes.
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble.
Baizu,
It's
Baizu,
just a
Baizu,
single
Baizu,
document.
Baizu,
Won't
Baizu,
take me a
Baizu,
moment.
Baizu, Baizu,
I would
Baizu.
mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus jadeite.
Yeah.
A Snezhnayan merchant came to
That
ask me
is
about it not long ago.
unfortunately linked to why we are
But
here.
after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment.
Oh, I love Paimon. That is definitely a look.
I wonder, Miss Yenfei, if your pressing business might be related to the Snezhnayan merchant?
Ah, you needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
I feel like that was nothing but sarcasm. Okay.
Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
That is definitely
Dr. Baisu's always been like
Dendro.
that. Well,
That
yeah,
is definitely not
let's go
Animo.
find Mr. Crossel.
That is super interesting. So I guess if they finally add the Dendro to playable characters,
I could get used to this.
then he will probably be one of the first people they add. And with how he looks, he would definitely be a 5-star. I wonder how he would play. He would probably be a mage with a book, a catalyst. Hello, Crossel. You are in big trouble.
I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
He does not have a nose. His nose is non-existent.
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossel, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
You think?
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus nephrite.
Correct.
Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this.
You are just digging your grave deeper and deeper.
I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed, only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question.
Obviously, the original claim is that it is nephrite, so we should do the Jade Mystery.
This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus nephrite. How does this prove anything?
You are a fool.
In any case, Smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite. He returned the valuable jadeite ore to me, and some
That
nephrite
is a
samples
decent
remained.
lie.
What am I missing exactly?
What you're missing is a brain.
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Hard evidence. Some
see.
Come on. I meant the backup copy of the document from the Ministry of Civil Affairs. The one we got from Sinxi of Mingsing Jewelry.
Oh, they have designed this character to be so infuriating.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus jadeite.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Okay.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet.
That is not a good look.
Traveler, would you do the honors?
She
This shall serve as
did
the
not
site
look
of our
all
case.
there.
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
Her eyes were not designed to be halfway closed like that.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item... I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Ministry of Civil
However,
Affairs.
I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry.
Now I get
I
it.
trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait!
So our goal with this was to get him to admit he knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell. But if you knew
Oh,
Smaragdus
he's
jadeite's
going
dangerous
with that
properties
instead of
beforehand,
admitting that
why
it
would
was
you...
fake. Interesting.
Huh? No, the hairpins aren't actually...
Okay, that was
Aren't
actually funny.
inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
That shifted eyebrow was very funny.
Intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
Again, that's legal consultancy for you.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus jadeite in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. After receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single bite. I was in a constant state of agitation, too. I went to Google Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste?
Oh, you poor, poor fool.
That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again.
Understandable.
I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Jiqiao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
So why did you charge? Ooh, I was not paying attention to how her name is pronounced. Why did you charge her such an exorbitant rental price?
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, But when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my
I
days in this line of
mean, you
business would be
kinda
over.
deserve it.
Alright, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times
Exactly.
the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Russo looks like he could faint in a second. As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
Man, 20%.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus Jadeite.
You're a clown.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much more. Even if the Smaragdus Jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Jichao, you...
Was that Ji Chow?
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus Jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But... Alright.
Interesting.
This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus Jadeite over to you. I trust that it will suffice as remuneration?
Remuneration. That's supposed to be remuneration, isn't it?
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go. But whatever. It'll do.
Oh, she would have gone to hell if she said no to that.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you
She
have
would
time, I'll be sure
definitely
to visit and express
not
my
have been
thanks
a
for
liked character after that.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you and Mr. Crossell come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good. That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk
Oh,
business for a
boy.
second, if I may.
Oh boy.
I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
I can definitely understand that he would not immediately want to jump into a business partnership with her. Oh, yes, though there were some twists and turns along the way, we got there in the end.
Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big
We
step
still
of
basically searched all over Liyue,
even though the solution
just because we didn't look for the hairpins specifically, which I realize now at this point we would not have been able to use Elemental Sight to find, but still,
the right
we did
solution
run
depends
all
on the
over the
perspective of
city.
problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution.
Can't say I've ever met an Adeptus like you before.
An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans.
Yes.
The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In
Interesting.
any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adaptal powers?
No. I think what it needs is clearly defined laws.
Iman can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
I think there's more than just reason involved here, Paimon.
Annie a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while
On
now.
tenterhooks, what does that mean? Oh boy. Oh, we have Smaragdus Jadeite now. I don't want that. What is it though? Is it a gem? No. Is it? Yes. A stone known as Smaragdus Jadeite. What will Madam Ping use it for? We will find out in the next episode. I am unfortunately going to end it here. This was a rather productive episode.
No time to lose.
Man, this place is really pretty. Okay. Going to stop right here and we will come back in the next episode and finish part 1 of this quest, I think. So, at that, feel free to leave a like if you liked what you saw/heard, or subscribe if you want to watch more of my content or be notified when I upload. I hope you have a lovely day, morning, or night, depending on whenever you watch this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.